Happy Monday, everybody. Here we are on a beautiful Monday, rainy a little bit here in Los Angeles, and it's so beautiful. It's my kind of weather, and my gardenia is making third bloom. There's about 50 new ones coming. I can't believe it. So this is like another glorious blooming. So it's been very inspiring to me during these days. You know, simple things make a difference. It's good to know what makes you happy and good to understand what you love and what inspires you, especially when things are pressing or more concentrating or when things are getting tighter, to be able to name those things that can remind you of love, of hopefulness, right? Of health, of happiness. These little things make a big difference. A perfect cup of coffee or tea, like all of that is part of like taking care of yourself. And in all my classes, I've been teaching recently in the Women's Circle, in Awakening the Divine Feminine, in Soul Inc., and I'm going to be teaching a meditation class very soon online. But in all those classes, I'm teaching about supreme self-care as spiritual practice, which is how can I better take care of myself, especially when there's tension and stress, especially. So there's so much of that right now, so much to have to understand and work with these very changing energies of the world, that anything you can do that organizes you, keeps you in balance, right? Like taking a walk or cleaning out a closet, all those things become ways of taking care of yourself better. So on that note, I think we'll start in a meditation, maybe with that in mind, at least in the beginning. So we'll see what happens. So when you're ready to, get yourself comfortable where you are and take a couple of breaths to organize the body, mind, heart, soul. To bring yourself into the moment. To notice how you're feeling today. And breathing through your nose in and out, breath by breath. And just start to step down the energy that's been amped up, right? Depending on what we've been doing, some more, some less. And if you just got home from a hike today, you're already in that space. But if you've been watching the news, you might be in another space. So step it down, no matter where you are, just step it down and feel that sort of kinetic, frantic, fast energy slow down so that the wavelength gets longer, like this, right? Long and smooth, instead of fast and sharp, right? Long and smooth. And let your breath bring you there, breath by breath, bringing yourself into the moment, which is everything, right? To be present to whatever is, including physical pain, to be present to it, right? To worry, to be present to the worry. Because as you're present to the worry, what happens, or the pain, it will diminish. Presence with your breath, not presence with your thinking. Because the more you worry, right? But as you start to move into what am I actually worried about, or what is stressing me at all, and you start to move into it, in the center, like at the center of a cyclone, is this perfect peace about that subject. So, we land into that perfect peace. We land into that perfect peace that's within us. And we start to slow down and remember who we are, and to use our breath as a harmonizer and a balancer to the moving energies that are all around us, to feel ourselves come into line with the soul. And just say a little statement as you start to enter this meditation now. I and the soul, I and the soul are one. And this is a conscious establishment of soul self. Soul self. Right? Soul with self. And you feel your breath anchor that connection as you call it, because it's already there. As you remember it, makes it so, and your experience begins to change as you move as soul through the life, rather than ego through the life, rather than fear through the life, moving as love through the life. That's our choice. Soul with self. By your exhalation, feel yourself anchor to this and know it to be so. And just let your breath get deeper and fuller as you notice whatever you notice about your physical body today, your fatigue, if there is, of overuse of muscles, if there is, underuse of muscles, if there is, overeating, if there is, undereating, if there is, like you're checking all the systems, like you would a computer checking every system to make sure everything's working in harmony with everything else. And as I ask the question, just notice, because you can almost see it like a gauge, how those systems are doing. It might be really good. Many of the systems might be working really well. You might be moving enough, sleeping enough, eating just right? But you might need more personal time, private time. Or you might be good on private time and need to adjust movement time. So just notice what you notice about that. And ask yourself about it physically. How can I better take care of myself physically these days? And answer that question gently. It might be to take a breath, right? Just to take a deep breath and to release the tension in your shoulders that you don't even know you're holding. Whatever it is, take note. And then check emotionally what might need adjustment, what feels good and strong. How's your relationship with someone, your partner? How's your relationship with yourself, right? How's your relationship vertically with the soul? And you kind of know the answer as I say that. You'll go, I could use a little work here and there. And if that's so, what might help? How can I better take care of my emotional life? Right. And, sometimes it's something simple like call a friend, right? Write a note to somebody you haven't talked to for a while, to emotionally feel that connection with someone that you love or that you haven't reached out to maybe for a while, that, we've been busy funnily in this time. But whatever it is, just also take note. What would better serve me emotionally right now in my life? This is definitely the theme I've been working on the last month with everyone. And it's good work and it's good practice to keep checking in on all these subjects, to see where they are each day and even within the day, because as the day goes on, we might start strong and not be around later in the day, might be off, right? And so you recheck again. Now how am I? Now how am I? Now how am I? That is what consciousness is that I'm soul with self all the time, checking in, noticing how I am. And when I know how I am, I can be of service to someone else. If I don't know how I am, then that material can become subconscious and project, right, onto others. So that work of clearing yourself makes you a clear channel, right? More and more so. Finally, mentally, checking in with yourself mentally, how can I better take care of myself, you're asking mentally. It might be to just read a book, right? Just do something that's stimulating, supportively stimulating. Don't read, Stephen King's The Stand right now. That would be, even though it's a great book, it would be too much like it is. Right? Choose what material you're allowing into your mind, right? And how much you allow into your mind of that, if you are letting some of that in. Be picky, right? Choose the best of it, whatever that looks like, whether it be a poem or a book or the news. Mentally checking in. How can I better take care of myself mentally? And just check spiritually too. And this is spiritual, right? What we're doing, this yoga practice, meditation, and movement. How can I better take care of myself spiritually, energetically? Which could be meditation like this, right? As one of my friends said, she takes a conscious shower and she lets all the worry of the day flow from her as that clear water purifies her. That's a spiritual practice. Anything and everything, in theory, is part of spiritual practice. Anytime you're conscious, you are practicing spiritual practice. So making a spiritually conscious meal tastes different than one where we're distracted, right? So just noticing and asking, how can I better take care of myself spiritually this week? Today, but also this week. And just noticing what you notice with all of these answers that your self knows, completely knows the answers to this. And then maybe do a couple of them, or all of them, or some of them, whatever feels realistic, right? Good. And when you're ready to, letting your breath get deeper and fuller, until it starts to feel natural to transition out of this meditation.